Now we are going to study about translations and interpretation of ancient Sanskrit texts. In this, the translations and interpretation of ancient texts involves a complex process that requires a deep understanding of the language, culture, and historical content. Here are the journal steps, which involves manuscript selections. Scholars select the most reliable and relevant manuscript for the translations. Textual criticisms. Scholars analyze the manuscript to establish the critical edition of the texts. Translations scholars translate the text from the Sanskrit into a modern language using physiological and linguistic analysis. Interpretations scholars interpret the text taking into account the historical culture and philosophical context. Commentary. Scholars write commentaries to explain the text's meaning and symbolisms and significance. Peer review. Scholars review and the critical each other's translations and other interpretations. Revisions. Scholars refine their translations and interpretation based on the feedback and new research publications, having the scholars publish their translations and interpretations in academic journals, books, and online platforms. So here are some notable translators and interpreters of ancient Sanskrit texts, which includes Max Muller, which is in 1823 in 1900, Ralph Gilfrith, which is 1826 and 1906, Williams Delight Whitney is 1827 to 1894. Author Keith is 1879 to 1945. Sarveli Radhakrishnan, 1888 to 1975. Parangdutra Vaman Keen is 1888 to 1972. Daniel Ingalls is 1916 to 2003. Patrick Oliverly is 1940 present. Their work has contributed significantly to our understanding and ancient Indian thoughts, culture, and philosophy. So here is a presentation overview. So in this challenges, in this translating Sanskrit texts, in this translating Sanskrit texts poses the several challenges, including complexities of Sanskrit. Language Sanskrit is a highly inflected language with a complex grammar and syntax, limited knowledge of Vedic Sanskrit, the ancient form of Sanskrit used in the Vedic texts, in different form classical Sanskrit, and few scholars are proficient in it. So no direct equivalent. Sanskrit words often lack direct equivalent, and each modern language requires nuisance translations. So contextual understandings is the understanding the historical and cultural context of the texts is essential for the accurate translations. Limited availability of manuscripts. Many Sanskrit texts exist on a fragmented or the damaged manuscripts, making translations challenges. Technical terms and jargons. Sanskrit texts often employ technical terms and jargons specified to the various disciplines, require specialized knowledge. Poet and metaphorical language, which is the Sanskrit texts frequently use poetic, and the metaphorical language, which can be difficult to translate accurately. Regional and delicate variations. Sanskrit had the regional and delicate variations which can affect translations. Lack of standardized Sanskrit texts often lack standardized in spelling, grammar, syntax, and making translation challenges. Need for interdisciplinary knowledge. Translating Sanskrit texts require knowledge of various disciplines, including philosophy and theological and history. And to overcome these challenges, circular scholars use various tools and approaches such as consulting multiples, manuscript, and expert employing logical and linguistic analysis and utilizing historical and cultural research. Challenges in interpreting Sanskrit texts. Interpreting Sanskrit texts poses several changes, which includes linguistic complexities. In Sanskrit, integrate grammar, syntax, and sentiments require a high level of proficiencies, contextual understandings, and which having the historical and cultural philosophical context of is essentials, symbolisms, and metaphor. In this, it employs symbolics and metaphor requiring the careful interpretations, multiple layer of meanings having the text, and may have multiple layer of meaning requiring a deep understanding of intended meaning. Commercial traditions. Sanskrit texts have a high, rich commercial traditions, and the understanding commentaries is essential. Philosophical and theological nuances. Text deals with the complex philosophical and theological concept requiring a deep understanding of Indian philosophy and theology. Cultural and historical distances. The cultural and the historical context may be unfamiliar to the modern scholar. Limited knowledge of Vedic Sanskrit, the ancient form of the Sanskrit used in the Vedic context, and different classical Sanskrits. So no direct equivalents. Sanskrit words often lack direct equivalent in modern language. Manuscript inconsistencies. Manuscripts may contain variations, errors, and interpolations. Limited availability of resources. Access to manuscripts, commentaries, and scholarly resource may be limited. Scholarly debated, and the disagreements. Scholars have made differing interpretations and opinions. To overcoming these challenges, scholars employ various tools and approaches such as consulting multiple manuscripts and editions, collaborating with other scholars, using commentaries and subcommentaries, employing historical and cultural research, utilizing philosophical and linguistic analysis, consulting with experts in related fields, philosophy, theology, using the computer assisted tools and software, engaging in ongoing professional development and learning. So, what are the importance of consultations and collaborations? Consultations and collaboration are essential in the translating and interpreting Sanskrit texts due to the following reasons. For example, shared knowledge. Scholars can pool their expertise and knowledge to ensure a more accurate and nuanced understanding of the text. Interdisciplinary approach. It is a collaboration between the scholars from the various fields, for example, physiology, philosophy, history, and provides a comprehensive understanding of the text. Valedictions is a peer review and consultations helps validate interpretation and translations, reducing the risk of error or biasness. Access to diverse resources in the collaborations provide access to a broader range of manuscripts, commentaries, and scholar resources. Addressing complexities, joint efforts can tackle complex issues such as declaring difficult passages or resolving conflicting interpretations. Ensuring consistency, which is the collaboration, helps maintain consistency in translations and interpretations, ensuring cohesive understanding of the texts, and having the building on previous scholarships, condensations, and collaborations allow scholars to build upon existing research, advance the field of refining the understandings, enhancing the creditability. Collaborative works enhance the credibility of and having the interpretations of multiple experts having contributed and validate the work. Facilitating the ongoing refinements, having the consultations, collaboration foster ongoing refinement and improvement of translation and interpretations, and promoting a scholarly community. Collaboration strengthens the scholars community, foster a spirit of cooperating and advancing our understanding of Sanskrit texts. So, what is the challenges in the translations? See, translation faces various challenges, including linguistic barriers, which is the differences in the grammar, syntax, and vocabulary between languages. Cultural differences is the idiom expresses and cultural references may not translate directly. Contextual understanding is the context in which the text was written. Technical terminology is a specialized vocabulary and jargon require precise translations. Nuisance of meanings, which is capturing substyles, shadings of meaning and connotations. Idiomatic expressions, translating idioms, proverbs, and the figurative language. Tone and style is perceiving the author tone, style, and voice. Ambiguity is the uncertainty in this, the dealing ambiguous or unclear texts. Language evolutions is the language change over time affecting translation accuracy. Limited resources are insufficient dictionaries, glossaries, or references material. Time constraint is the meeting deadlines while ensuring quality in translations. cultural sensitivity, which is being aware of cultural differences and avoiding offensive translations, which to overcome these challenges, translator uses various strategies as research and analysis, collaborations with experts, using technology and software, consulting and multiple sources, cultural immersions, continuation professional development, adding and proofreading, and seeking feedback. So, by acknowledging and addressing these challenges, translator can strive to produce accurate, natural soundings and culturally relevant and translations. So, what is the lack of context? See, lack of context is the challenges translations and this misinterpretations. If you have misinterpretation and don't have without context of words or phrases can be misinterpreted, leading to the inaccurate translations. Ambiguity is the words or phrases can have the multiple meanings in context, having disambiguate them. Inaccurate nuisance is the context helps convey subtle shades of meanings, tones, and styles. Cultural misunderstanding is the difference of allusions may be lost without context. Inadequate translations is may not be convey the intended meaning or messages. To overcome the lack of context, translators can research the author, historical period, and cultural background, consult commentaries, intonations, or explanatory notes, analyze the text's structure, engineers, and purposes, use textuals and clues such as footnotes or endnotes, collaborate with experts or native speakers, consider the target audience and intended use technology such as machines learning or natural language processing tools. By comprehending by lack of context, translators can produce more accurate and nuisance translations and convey the intended meaning and message.